How's it going, Demcad? I want to take a couple minutes to respond to your video that the problems in the Middle East are stemming from our foreign policy. I would have to agree with you 100%. Anyone that takes a look at our history, anyone that knows the Constitution, that looks back at the history of this country from World War II to now, knows that our problems in the Middle East stem from our foreign policy. Um, after 9/11 happened, they beat us over the head with terrorism, terrorism, terror. They said it over and over again. It was the talking point in the GOP convention, um, and they still use it. It's basically the boogeyman, and it's the apparatus that they use to control us. Um, Basically 9/11 gave this government a lot of tools to use against the American people. We got the Patriot Act. We have the National Defense Authorization Act. But yeah, back to foreign policy. Our problems in the Middle East didn't start in 1979. Our problems with Iran didn't start, with the taking of our hostages. That was, what the CIA calls blowback, and it's been said before, but I'm saying it for the sake of people who may not have heard the term blowback. Um, it was a response to our actions, where in 1953 the democratically elected leader of Iran, Mossadegh, decided to kick British Petroleum out, and he nationalized the oil fields. The response to this was, England first came to Truman and wanted, the United States to come in on their behalf, and Truman didn't want any part of it. So after Truman was out of office, during Eisenhower's presidency, England was able to convince him that it was in our best interest to go in there. So we went in. The CIA went in covertly and staged a coup. They started dropping leaflets, down with Allah, up with Mossadegh, up with communism, and they basically painted him as a communist. And he was kicked out. We installed the Shah. The Shah turned around and killed 100,000 Iranian people. That's where our problems with the Middle East began. And we have this policy now, that we're going to spread democracy around the world down the barrel of a gun, rather than try to govern ourselves well and teach the rest of the world by example. So we go into these countries, we get involved, and yeah, that's why they're pissed at us. But more than that, 9/11 gave them an excuse. It was their Reichstag. Um, Hitler invaded Poland after he burned his own Reichstag. He used that as a pretext to go in. Oh, we were attacked by Poland, and they found a scapegoat, a patsy. They threw a Polish uniform on him and killed him. Now that 9/11 happened, they had to find a way that they could go beyond invading just one country. So they lumped all these countries in under this specter of terrorism. We had the war in Afghanistan, and then we got the lie that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. So then we go into Iraq, and that was a lie too. And since then, now that Obama took office, and he promised to end some of these wars, and he took us out of Iraq, but we're still in Iraq. We still have what do you call it, like mercenaries in there, Blackwater style troops in there. So Iraq is still unstable. We went into Pakistan to supposedly get Osama bin Laden. The only people that think that we just killed Osama bin Laden are the American people. Everybody else in the world knows that bin Laden's been dead for a long, long time. Benazir Bhutto, who was the Pakistani former president that was assassinated, came out and talked about bin Laden having been killed. I mean, the guy was on a dialysis machine in 2001. So how would he have lived all this time? Um, we have a government that lies to us over and over again, and they say whatever it takes to get the people behind a war. Um, and